Hey guys, so today I'm checking out the 8K by Canvas Audio. It's basically a one frequency shelf, but it also has two console emulations. I'm gonna open a session that I had. The mix is basically there, but I wanted to check on the plugins, so I added three instances. There's one in the guitar bus, there's one in the vocal bus, and I was checking on the presets, and I ran into one that's meant for the rooms. I'm going to show you guys those three instances now. So I began with checking on how it works in the guitar bus. So first thing I did was basically crank it up, the 8K, to check also on which console the flavor fits better for the guitars. And in this case, it's one. Yes, it's a bit difficult to see the switch. Where is it on one or two? Anyways, it's one according to me. And then I'm gonna dial the amount first and then play around with the mix. The cool thing is that you get a link here, so you can turn it on and off, a link between the input and the output, so you always have like a steady volume, let's say. And of course the aim for this is for you to check on the amount of saturation you're getting from the emulation of the console. So let's play with that. The less input you get, the cleaner it is. Now the cool thing is that you have a mix knob. Always comes in handy, especially for when you're adding a plugin like this at a final instance, which is what I'm doing with the guitars. Now I'm gonna find a sweet spot. I would say it's around there. Why? Because if I go over 1.5, I think it's gonna get too much. So I like the way it sounds now, and I went for V1, which is the one that I like for these guitars. You know, every situation is different, but in this case I like this one. Now let's check on those rooms. In this case, I'm carving the 8K, and then I'm adding a bit of saturation from the emulation, and I went for V2 this time. And now let's check on what I did with the vocals.
Buried for your never-ending blinding breath.
Yes, in this case, I'm doing the opposite. I'm basically carving the 8K region, mine 1 dB. I'm giving an extra instance of saturation because turns out it sounds nicer like this. And mix is set to 75%. Now I'm gonna do an 8B without the rest of the instruments, only by bosses. Nice. Now vocals.
Stricken down the west of my life. Discard it, murder it, bury it for your never-ending, blinding greed. Fading your souls away. Now they are rising with the power and fury of nature, the wisdom of their spirits, of the land. The Lord pay eternally. Now we're paying the price.
Again, in this case, I went for darker vocals, which is what the mix needs, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm trying to cut a bit of harshness at the end.
Now they are rising with the power and fury of nature, the wisdom of their spirits, of the land. The Lord pay eternally. Now we're paying the price. Dead on the gods who blow the rivers with blood. Now we're bringing.
I think it's a really cool plugin for those final checks, let's say, to give presence or to cut harshness. And there you go. That was the 8K by Canvas Audio. Check it out.